On everybody, it's still alive back with another one, man. And this is one of the things that I've been saying all the video reactions that I've been doing to different videos about how this stuff is ruining the game. Is one of the main things I kept saying was is like kids are watching this, and like not even just like the college people that are coming into the NBA now, like the next generations of kids are watching SGA play, and they're watching this flopping and foul baiting shit. And if the refs don't put a stop to it now, in the next 15 years, it's going to be 20 times worse than what it is now. And I've been saying this: if they don't put a stop to the way the game's being played as of now, that the NBA will probably no longer cease to exist in 10 years because people are tired of it already. I can't imagine how tired of it people are going to be in 10 years. Like, I know so many diehard NBA fans that just don't watch anymore. They just don't, because of what everybody's talking about and nobody's fixing it, and they just don't watch it no more. They watch college, they watch, what I mean, whatever. They'll watch overseas basketball, but they don't watch NBA no more. And I think that unless something happens soon within the next couple years about this shit, I think the NBA ratings, which they're already going down, I think are going to go down way worse. But man, we're going to get right off into this, man. It's still live. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it.
There's no denying the greatness of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Before anything else said in this video, that needs to be established clearly and honestly. His footwork.
I've been saying that too. I think he's too great. I think he's too good of a player to play like this. I think he should just play ball. And if you get fouled as much as you do in the midst of playing ball, actually, nobody is going to say anything. There are all-time greats that shot 10, 12 free throws a game, but they did that in the aspects of um actually just going to the hoop that hard and that much and getting fouled, not doing the stuff that you guys are doing to try to get the foul. They were going to the rim trying to score, and then they would just get fouled in the process. You're going into the paint or going towards the rim or into any situation looking, man, can I draw this foul? Can I draw this foul? Can I draw this foul? And that's the wrong way to play basketball. You should be playing the game trying to score, not can I draw this foul? Can I draw this foul? Like, that is just cheating through the game, and it's ruining it. And the kids are watching this, and it's not a good look.
Elite, his pacing's elite, his deceleration's elite. The way he manipulates angles in the mid-range genuinely resembles some of the best scoring guards the league's ever seen. He can score at all three levels. He's become a far more willing passer, and defensively, he competes harder than many other superstars. There's a reason he became the face of the Oklahoma City Thunder, the face of Canadian basketball, and eventually one of the faces of the entire NBA. As a Canadian from Ontario myself, there's naturally a level of pride that comes along with watching another Ontario hooper dominate the sport at the absolute highest level. Seeing a Canadian become the cover athlete for NBA 2K26 should have been a massive celebration for basketball culture in this country. But that's exactly why this conversation matters so much more than people want to admit. When you become one of the faces of the sport, the responsibility changes.
Stuff it!
Exactly.
Say stuff it, and try the all-new salad stuffers, only at Panera.
But it's not even when you're the face of the sport. Just responsibility changes. Like, you got to think of what the kids are looking at. They're looking at you.
And that's where the problem begins. Because this is not basketball anymore. Basketball is supposed to be about skill expression, shot making, creativity, counters, footwork, timing, spacing, toughness, and competitive shot creation under pressure. The game is supposed to
like, what is this? He didn't get touched here.
And competitive shot creation under pressure. The game is supposed to reward players who can beat defenders with actual basketball ability, not players who've mastered the art of manipulating officials into rewarding exaggerated contact. Somewhere along the way, the NBA drifted away from rewarding authentic offensive creation and moved toward rewarding performance art.
It's so ugly to watch. Like, dude, like, can we not do better than this? Like, can we not just play basketball?
Leaning into defenders, snapping the head backward, throwing the arms upward unnaturally, falling to the floor after minimal contact. That's not the essence of basketball.
You never would have seen fucking Kobe and MJ doing this. And people tried to show videos of MJ pump faking, and then once the defender was up in the air, going up and bumping the defender in the air, but it was different. MJ pump faked and then still was jumping straight up and down where he was for his shot. The defender was just coming towards him, and MJ saw that. MJ wasn't jumping into the defender though to draw the foul.
And when the player leading the charge in that style is one of the league's premier superstars, the effect on the sport becomes impossible to ignore, especially when that player leads the association in falling on jump shots at a staggering 17.4% rate,
Jeez.
the highest in the NBA by a massive margin. Throughout this entire
That stat alone, I did not know. That stat alone should show you a lot. That out of all the players in the NBA, he falls after jump shots the most. That's insane.
postseason, the evidence has been overwhelming. Against the Phoenix Suns in round 1, possession after the next featured unnatural body tilts into defenders, abrupt head jerks after minimal contact, and exaggerated reactions designed to sell fouls as opposed to finish plays naturally. Then, against the Los Angeles Lakers in round 2, it escalated further. Defenders were terrified to even exist in his space because any slight hand check, any incidental contact, any bump created an opportunity for a whistle through embellishment. By the time the Western
Like, what the hell? He didn't even get touched.
created an opportunity for a whistle through embellishment.
No touch. Not touching him.
By
He was able to land.
the time the Western Conference
Where's the foul?
Finals arrived against the San Antonio Spurs, it had
Where's the foul? Dylan Brooks' hands not touching.
become
No foul.
one of the dominant
Oh my god.
storylines of the postseason itself. And what makes these clips so important is that they're not heavily manipulated edits. Most of these possessions are shown nearly in real time, one play after another, one possession after another, one fall after another. The sheer volume becomes impossible to dismiss because the pattern never stops.
Good lord. It's absurd.
The replays later in this video only reinforce what viewers already saw live. The issue isn't merely that free throws are being generated. Great scores throughout
And
NBA
watching it live, you're a lot farther away. The cameras aren't this close to the court. So you don't see all the stuff that you can see on the other angles after the game. Like, there's a lot of angles that people see after the game, and they're like, dude, I watched that play. I swore it wasn't a foul. And then they see the different angles after the game, and they're like, of course it wasn't a foul. Or, of course he flopped. Of course he barely got touched and fell over. I thought so. And it's just getting more and more easy because nowadays, within minutes of the game being over, there's edits being done and showing the world what's happening. This wasn't happening in the 2000s. If there was extremely bad officiating games trying to sway games one way or the other, because I'm sure there was. I've seen some of the ones in the early 2000s where it looked like officiating was swaying one way or the other. It was happening back then. But nowadays, the way he's manipulating the game, and everybody is so quick for these edits to put on YouTube, and social media is so quick that the world's seeing what's happening and people are getting tired of it.
history have lived at the line. Michael Jordan got to the line. The late, great Kobe Bean Bryant got to the line. Dwayne Wade got to the line. LeBron James gets to the line. And so does some dude named Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Say hello to Sara Lee Half Loaves. Half a loaf, all
But they get to the line without this. Just go to the rim hard. You're going to draw fouls. If he would just go to the rim looking to score every time, he would draw just as many fouls in throughout a game.
allegedly engaged in
Physical dominance and relentless rim pressure naturally create fouls.
Exactly.
We all know that. The problem is when offensive players actively prioritize creating the illusion of contact over
The thing is he isn't that physical though. Michael Jordan, Kobe, Giannis, all them people, Dwayne Wade, all them people that he just mentioned were serious, coming down the lane, super quick. You don't get out the way, they're gonna dunk on your head type people. That's not Shea. So Shea's finding other ways to manipulate and draw the fouls in the paint and shit and everything. But like, yeah, I feel like the explosiveness that those other players had compared to what Shea does is a little bit different because Dwayne Wade, Kobe, LeBron, Michael Jordan, all of them players that he just named would come down the lane and they would get fouled hard because people knew like, oh, he's coming and he's coming to lay that shit in athletically at, you know what I mean, head at the backboard damn near, or he's finna dunk on one of us. And of course they got fouled a lot. And that's not Shea. Shea's not a high flying dunking on people's head like that.
The completion of basketball plays themselves. And right now, Shea is leading the playoffs in free throws made per game by a
What are you doing?
mile, with a substantial portion of that production stemming from techniques that are specifically designed to manipulate officiating tendencies. There's a difference between forcing defenders into impossible situations
And getting
with
fouled.
overwhelming skill and intentionally gaming referee psychology. One is basketball excellence, the other is exploiting human reaction inside officiating systems. Fans know the difference when they see it, and more importantly, young players know the difference too. What Shea does on a nightly basis in terms of foul baiting is quite frankly cheating the sport, and it's setting a terrible, terrible example. That's the most dangerous long-term consequence here. Kids are watching this every single night. Young guards in gyms across North America, as well as the entire world, are studying these possessions. These youngins are watching a superstar get rewarded for violently snapping his head backward after slight shoulder contact. They're watching possessions where the primary objective appears to be hooking.
And we already know that Shea, like this is 100% facts. There's insider people in OKC that have came out that have said that OKC practices this. We already know this. In practice, they practice this shit. They practice this drawing fouls and trying to get people off their feet and jumping into them. And they practice this flopping shit. They do. This is 100% facts. You literally can find out it online. Like, go look it up. It's not that hard. Like, there's insider people that have came out and whistleblown and said, like, yes, they practice this shit. And that's a problem because if kids know that the best team in the world is practicing flopping, what do you think kids are going to be doing? They're going to be practicing flopping. Oh, this got them a world champion. They got NBA title rings because of this. So if I could start doing this, but instead of like my generation, we were saying, oh man, if I could be as tough as Kobe on the court, if I could be as physical as Kobe on the court, if I could have Kobe's footwork and Kobe's jumper and shit on the court, maybe I can get an NBA ring. And now these kids are watching them and saying, man, if I can manipulate the game like he does, maybe I can get a ring. If I can get to the line as much as he does, maybe I can get my points per game up to 30 points a game like he does. You know what I mean? It's a different thing, and it's a dangerous way to promote the game that I love because I don't want kids looking up to Shea for that reason. Look up to him for the great ball player he is and the way he carries himself outside of the game. Don't look at him and practice or study or even take into your consideration that you should play the game of basketball the way he does and like the way he does manipulating it. Don't.
The defender's arm instead of finishing through contact. They're learning that collapsing to the floor increases whistle probability. They are absorbing the idea that deception is more valuable than authentic shot making. That fundamentally changes how the next generation approaches the sport. Because instead of practicing balance, touch, counters, pivots, and strong finishes through contact, kids begin practicing whistle generation.
Exactly.
That is a horrifying developmental direction for the sport because it slowly erodes the core integrity of competition itself. Basketball should teach resilience, creativity, coordination, and problem solving under pressure. The saddest part is, and I've talked about this in past videos, is that Shea doesn't even need to rely on this style nearly as much as he does.
No.
That's what makes it so frustrating
Doesn't
to
need
watch.
to rely
He's
on it
already
at
one of the
all.
most gifted isolation scorers.
Because if he didn't do it, if he would just go to the rim and look to score instead of going the rim to look for a foul, he's going to score just as much and he's going to get to the line just as much. So that's what I don't understand why he does it. Like, dude, you're actually stopping yourself. Like, they would be a better team if he didn't do that. In my opinion, they would all be better because it causes turnovers when the calls don't come, because that's a lot. They flop a lot of times and the calls don't come, and they turn it over a lot when they do that. And then on top of it, he would stop. Sometimes he just plain out misses the shots because he's trying to sell the shot and the shot is awkward, so he misses it. And instead of him trying to do that and then just going to the rim and trying to score, he's going to score just as much, maybe more. His actual efficiency might go up more because he's going to the rim looking to score instead of going to the rim looking to get a foul. And and he, people would stop hating him so much. I just don't understand why in his head he's thinking it's a good idea.
In the league without his embellishment. His change of pace alone can destroy defenders. His ability to freeze bigs in space is elite. His patience around the rim is special. There are stretches where he plays pure basketball and looks completely unstoppable in a way that earns universal respect. Then, suddenly, the possession shifts into another exaggerated fall, another unnatural lean, another whistle hunt, another head snap, and the conversation immediately changes again. It cheapens brilliance that would otherwise speak entirely for itself. And because Shai is such a high-profile player, because he's the 2K cover athlete we all see every day before we turn on the game, because he's constantly marketed as one of the new faces of the NBA, the visibility of these habits becomes amplified across the entire basketball ecosystem. Nationally televised games reinforce those habits to millions of younger viewers trying to model their own games after superstars. But ultimately,
Like, I don't hate Shai as a ball player. I kind of hate Chet Holmgren. I'm not gonna lie. I think Chet Holmgren is a dirty player. I think Chet's a dirty player, plain and simple. I think he's a absolutely dirty player. He knows that he can't compete with Wemby and shit, so he resorts to dirty plays instead of just playing. Now, the only complaint I have about Shai is the trying to manipulate the game. I don't think Shai is a dirty player because even the other night after the game of Game 4, even Shai said it. They asked, "How does Hartenstein's impact tonight?" And Shai said, "I don't think it was a good one because he was playing dirty, pulling on people's heads, grabbing people, fouling the shit out of people, like literally pulling people's arms from behind, trying to dislocate Wemby's arm and shit."
this is bigger than Shai himself, and this is where blame needs to be directed properly. This is largely the fault of Adam Silver and the modern NBA officiating environment that's
Letting
enabled
it
this
happen,
behavior
yeah.
to flourish. I've talked about this in past videos repeatedly because the league's created an incentive structure where manipulating officials is simply efficient basketball strategy. If refs consistently reward exaggerated contact, players would almost be irrational not to exploit it competitively. The league publicly talks about protecting offensive freedom and increasing scoring, but the side effect
Yeah,
has
I'm a Lakers fan and a Luka fan, but I don't like when Luka does the foul bait and shit. Luka don't really flop, but Luka does try to draw fouls, and it's like, Luka, just play ball. You're too damn good of a fucking player to do that shit. You are the MVP. Like, Luka should have 100% got the MVP over SGA. It's not even close. But MVP is based off of feelings and not stats and not realistically who's the best player in the league. If you go off of realistically who the best player in the league this year, like, as much as I love Wemby and how mad Wemby was that he didn't get the MVP, realistically, Wemby or SGA should not have got the MVP. And it would have been a different story if Luka didn't get hurt and people saw Luka into the playoffs and shit too. Because Luka was by far leading the league this year. And the Lakers probably, honestly, would have gave a way bigger fight to OKC if Luka was there. It would have been a totally different series. And if the Lakers still did lose, OKC would have been way more tired from that series with Luka in, and the Spurs series would be a completely different series too because OKC would probably had to go to 7 games against the Lakers. But man, Luka 100% should have got the MVP over SGA. It wasn't even close.
been the gradual erosion of defensive authenticity and competitive flow. Offensive players understand exactly what motions generate whistles. Defenders, meanwhile, understand they're officiated differently depending on who initiates the visual contact narrative.
Like, that's just a clear like he didn't touch him.
Understand they're officiated differently
Where's the foul?
depending on
Where's the
who
foul?
initiates
Where's the foul?
the visual
Where's the foul?
contact narrative. The NBA essentially trained stars to optimize whistle creation because the league continuously rewards it statistically, financially, and competitively. Let's be very, very clear. Shea didn't invent the system, he simply mastered it better than anyone in modern basketball. Still, mastery of a flawed system doesn't make the system healthy for the sport, and that's why this conversation is so intriguing. Basketball is at its best when greatness feels honest. When players win possessions through impossible shot making, elite defensive reads, incredible passing windows, physical dominance, and/or unmatched competitive execution. Fans fall in love with basketball because of authentic displays of skill and toughness.
Exactly.
On the other hand, nobody grows up dreaming about
I fell in love with the game of basketball. I mean, like, I already was a huge fan of basketball. Like, I was playing basketball from a little boy, but like, I really fell in love with the game of basketball in like probably 2006, 2007, watching Kobe Bryant and just watching how physical and mean he was out there and just how he wanted to win at all costs. And he didn't give no excuses if he was hurt or, you know what I mean, sick or whatever. He was still out there unless it was a serious injury, like when he tore his Achilles and that type of shit in 2012. But before that, the man was out there and he was working. You know what I mean? Like, I was in like second, third grade when I started watching Kobe Bryant, man. And like, I watched him lose in 2007 to the Celtics. I watched him win to the Orlando. I watched him win to Celtics again. And you know, I didn't get to watch his first ones obviously because I was a little kid because like he was winning in what 2000, 2001, 2002, or was it 2001, 2002, 2003, something like that. But yeah, man, like it sucks that these kids nowadays are looking up to a whole different type of basketball that like I fell in love with the game for a whole different reason, and now they're watching the game and this is what they get to watch, and they're learning, to me, all the wrong reasons to want to play the game.
baiting referees into foul calls. Nobody watches playground basketball and says the best part was watching somebody fling their head back.
Exactly.
That's anything but the soul of the sport, if you catch my drift. The soul of the sport is competition, flow, creativity, toughness. So this video is not hatred toward Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as a person or even as a player. The concern is that one of, if not the NBA's biggest superstar, is normalizing habits that are slowly reshaping basketball culture itself.
Facts.
And it's pretty
Yeah, I think he had a really good take on it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't, like I kept saying, like, I think Shai is a great player, and that's why I wish he would just play ball. But man, let me know what y'all think below. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. It's still live checking out. I'm going to get on and do one more live tonight. So make sure y'all hop on that one.